Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining on today's video, and I'm sure it will be another chaotic one. It always is on this channel. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you for putting up with me, with my space. If you are new here, hello, I'm Ella. I am a booktuber, talker, Instagrammer in the UK. I'm based in the southeast and I have a particular love of fantasy. Today's video, as you guys can see from the title, is a little bit of a review of the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard, which is a YA, I'd kind of call it like a dystopian fantasy, and it was really recommended to me. It kept popping up on all my searches, people kept recommending it to me, and I got given it for my birthday in February, and I finally got round to reading it, which I'm pretty proud of because it's a 5-book series, so I'm pretty impressed with myself with that, if I do say so myself. I do have them here. Me being typical me, I think I lent my Red Queen, the first book, to someone and then decided to film this video. We're doing Stella, folks, Stella. But yeah, this is the book series minus the first one. It's a 5-part series. The first 4 are your sort of standard books, and the 5th one, Broken Throne, is like a collection of stories, I'd say. And yeah, overall I gave the series a 3.75 star review, and this video is going to be telling you a little bit about why. The first thing to talk about is this series. If you haven't already read it or you don't know anything about it, it follows a young woman called Mare Barrow in a world where people are divided by the colour of their blood. The Silvers have what we would call akin to magical abilities, and the Reds are human, normal, or not abilitied humans, we should say. And the whole premise is that a young red girl suddenly realises she has silver abilities despite having red blood, and this follows her journey and her story, sort of deciphering who she is, and a down with the system, down with the kingdom story for true equality. And honestly, I kind of love it. We've got, you know, a little bit of enemies to lovers, forced marriage, all these like little tropes being thrown in left, right and centre. There is a lot sort of about discovering yourself and discovering who you are outside of what defines you, which I really loved, and I think is such a beautiful storyline and story arc for a YA book in particular, but in general I love it. The first book was fabulous and I think I devoured it in like a day. It was just so gripping and captivating, and so I like things that are a little bit different. You know, it might have had quite a lot of things that are quite similar, but it was different to a lot of other YAs that I have read recently, and I really enjoy her storytelling. The second book, this does not have any spoilers in this video. I feel like I should have mentioned that earlier. But this video won't have any spoilers. I'm just sort of going over whether I liked them or not, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. The comments probably won't be spoiler free. I'm gonna throw that out there. Enter the comments if you dare. But hey. The second book I really enjoyed, although I did find at points I understood the narrative was sort of a lot regarding isolation and feeling like you're separated from everything and everyone. I got a little bit frustrated at points. I felt like, yes, I mean, I've been there. I 100% have physically been there myself. I understand how that isolation can take over, but I felt for me, for the story, it almost like overwhelmed the story at points, and for me, I just didn't like that. I would have enjoyed it to move on a little bit more, a little bit quicker, rather than dallying. Although, you know, it's such a great way to show how people suffer from that. It's just that when I'm reading a book, I like pace, and for me, I just felt like that level of intensity of that storyline lost me a bit of pace. But the next books were fabulous, and I think the brilliant thing about this whole series is that there were so many different twists and turns that you just weren't expecting. Literally from book 1, it's riveting. It is just go, 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 plot twists galore, really fantastic thinking and fantastic writing, which I really enjoyed, and I just think really spoke to the audiences that they were trying to achieve. I think that this is definitely a book you would like, and you like Hunger Games, you like Throne of Glass, you like ACOTAR, you know, these sorts of books, Serpent and Dove. It's that whole genre I absolutely love. I think actually it's quite similar to Serpent and Dove in some ways. But let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you've read both and whether you agree. But I do think there's a lot of similarities there. I think where I struggled was sometimes the pacing. Like I said in book 2, the pacing felt a little bit short. Occasionally there were times when the writing felt thin, if that makes sense. Like I didn't feel like there was enough necessarily backing up. A little points here and there. I'm sort of nitpicking. I mean, I gave it a 3.75 star. I would have given it a 4 if it wasn't for those sort of moments of thinness within the writing, because I do understand with book 2 that was just more of a preference and a taste. But I think that there could have just been a little bit more padding and forethought into certain areas. That being said, in other areas she was fantastic with it. So I'm not putting it down in any way because of that, if that makes sense. I think the thing that I really struggled with, and I think I probably would have given it 5 stars if it wasn't for this, or maybe a 4.75. Like, this is the lost star, is the end of Warstorm, which is book number 4. I really hate it. I absolutely loved this book. It was so good. It was potentially my favourite out of them. I hated the ending. It upset me so much. It felt so unsatisfying. And then number 5, Broken Throne, it's more of a collection of short stories. It does kind of continue the story on and give you a little bit of a rounding, I guess, of everything that's happened in the books, and sort of finish it off, but it doesn't feel part of the series. It feels completely separate to the series, even though it's not, and it was really frustrating for me that we ended with Warstorm with such an unsatisfying ending for me, to then go on to this, and I was a bit like, great, fabulous, you know, like, but I love the colours. Me jumping and jumping. No, I think that was just my only negative with it. It was just that ending, a little bit of thinness, and just not thinking about pacing in that second book. And I think had we not had those, we'd have probably had a full star and a bit review more. So it could have been, it had the potential to be a 5-star series, but it wasn't. And that's why I'd want to highlight this series, mainly because I just think it's really worth a read. I think it's really well written, and I think that a lot of people will like this series. So please do read it. It's basically a plug for you guys to read it, because I want someone to talk about it with. We're gonna leave it there, I think. I don't want to get too much into it without spoiling these lovely books. So just happy reading, I guess, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.